faking orgasms now because you can't feel pleasure but don't want her to know, and already tried more stimulation, different activities, or focusing harder that all failed. Here's the specific nerve compression blocking orgasmic signals they all missed. This isn't psychological, it's pudendal nerve pathway obstruction from prostate inflammation. When your prostate becomes chronically inflamed and enlarged, the swollen tissue compresses the pudendal nerve, carrying pleasure signals from your genitals to your brain. Ejaculation still occurs. That uses different nerve pathways. But the intense pleasurable sensation that should accompany climax gets blocked or severely muted because compressed nerves can't transmit the signals. Natural compounds exist that reduce this compression while supporting nerve signal recovery. More on those in a moment. First, here's why the mechanical action happens without the mental reward. Think of orgasm like a phone call. Ejaculation is the physical mechanics, the phone dialing and connecting. Orgasmic pleasure is the conversation, the actual information transmitted. When nerve pathways are healthy, both happen simultaneously. You get the physical release and the mental pleasure together. But when prostate inflammation compresses the pudendal nerve severely, it's like a phone line with cut wires. The call connects, you can tell someone's on the other end, but you can't hear them. Your body goes through climax mechanically, but your brain receives minimal or zero pleasure information because the transmission line is physically blocked. This explains the hollow, empty feeling men describe. You experience the muscular contractions. You see ejaculation occurring. Your body clearly reached the physiological threshold for orgasm. But the reward sensation-defining orgasm is absent or barely present. Some men compare it to sneezing, without the satisfying release, or scratching an itch that provides no relief. The mechanical action occurs, but the pleasurable payoff doesn't arrive because nerve signals can't reach your brain's pleasure centers. Your partner experiences profound confusion when you try explaining this. They see physical signs of climax and assume you felt pleasure. When you explain the sensation was minimal or absent, they often don't understand how that's mechanically possible. Some think you're lying about enjoyment, interpreting it as commentary on their performance. Others assume it's psychological relationship issues. Neither person recognizes that physical nerve compression is literally preventing pleasure signals from reaching your brain, regardless of attraction or emotional connection. Here's how this nerve compression progresses. Stage 1, months 1 to 6. Orgasm intensity decreases from very intense to moderate. Still pleasurable, but noticeably less than before. Mild compression starting. Stage 2, months 6 to 12. Moderate becomes mild. You feel something, but it's underwhelming. Compared to expectation, compression worsening. Stage 3, months 12 to 18. Mild becomes barely noticeable. You reach climax, knowing intellectually it's happening, but feeling almost nothing. Severe compression. Stage 4, 18 months beyond. Orgasm physically present, but experientially absent. Zero pleasure sensation, despite visible ejaculation. The compressed nerves have been damaged so severely that transmission is essentially blocked completely. Most men try approaches that can't address pudendal nerve compression. Increasing stimulation intensity. More input can't overcome blocked signal transmission. It's like turning up the volume on a phone with cut wires. The problem is the line, not the volume. Trying different sexual activities. The activity type doesn't matter when the nerve pathway carrying pleasure signals is physically compressed. Focusing mentally harder. You can't think your way past mechanical nerve obstruction. The signals literally cannot get through regardless of mental effort. assuming it's psychological and seeking therapy. While therapy helps emotional aspects, it can't decompress physically obstructed nerves, causing the sensation loss. So what actually restores orgasmic sensation when pudendal nerve compression is the cause? The approach requires three components simultaneously. Component 1. Aggressively reducing prostate inflammation. As tissue swelling decreases, pressure on the pudendal nerve eases. Compressed pathways begin conducting signals more normally. Component 2. Supporting nerve health and signal transmission. Helps damaged nerve fibers recover function as compression reduces. Component 3. Protecting nerve tissue from inflammatory damage. Antioxidants and neuroprotective compounds support tissue trying to heal. Research tracking men who comprehensively addressed all three shows specific recovery patterns. 10 to 14 weeks. Sensation that was completely absent might register as faint awareness. Something is happening. Not pleasure yet, but recognition signals are transmitting. 16 to 24 weeks. Many men report intensity improved to mild or moderate levels. Still not back to previous intensity, but substantially better than absent. 6 to 8 months. When inflammation has been significantly reduced and nerve function recovered maximally, most find sensation returned to 60 to 80% of what they remember from years earlier. 3 factors significantly worsen pudendal nerve compression and damage. Prolonged sitting increases direct pressure on pelvic nerves, already compromised by prostatic compression. 8+ hours sitting daily can reduce nerve function 30 to 40% beyond inflammation alone. High-impact activity during acute inflammation. Jarring movements when tissue is severely swollen can cause additional nerve trauma, compounding damage. Alcohol consumption compounds nerve dysfunction, both through increased inflammation and direct neurotoxic effects on already stressed nerve tissue. For men exploring natural approaches to address pudendal nerve compression, blocking orgasmic signals, there's a formulation combining all three components discussed: inflammation reduction, targeting nerve decompression, nerve pathway signal support, and neuroprotective compounds. It's designed specifically for this compression pattern, affecting pleasure transmission. The link in description provides detailed information about the ingredients, research behind each component, and how they work together to restore signal transmission mechanically. This is educational content. Always consult healthcare providers for medical guidance regarding your situation. Are you experiencing climax without pleasure sensation? How long has this absence been present? Sharing your experience helps other men recognize this is pudendal nerve compression from prostate inflammation, not psychological issues or relationship problems. The link for natural nerve decompression approach is in description below.